everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at nine party games. These are just mostly their party games that have come out over the past year. So we're going to do some quick rundown through each of them. Remember, if you like these quick videos, you can check them out on our channel, Dice Tower Encore, where we have quick videos. These will be there eventually. But for now, let's take a look at these party games and see if any of them are any good. That's Not a Hat has been getting a lot of buzz. Is that a hat? No, that's a traffic cone. That's not a hat. This is a game in which is going to revolve heavily around memory. So this is going to be, cards are going to be passed from player to player. You have to remember what card is where. Let me show you. In this game, everyone's going to start with a gift that's face up in front of them. And on your turn, you're going to get a gift from the pile. You'll take this. Ooh, I have a new gift here. So you put the gift here. Then this one I go and I'll be like, okay, I'm giving you a bikini to this person. And they accept it because everyone just saw the bikini. And I'm flipping it over because it's white. They then have to give away their other gift. They give this back to me. They say it's a boot. The boot goes to the top here. And now I have this one here. And so this is weights. So I say to this person, I'm giving you weights. Actually, no, it goes this way. I'm giving them weights. They accept it. They then pass this one here, and they say, I'm giving you a bikini, which this still is. And it's just going to keep going around. You're going to follow the arrows as you pass it, and you tell the person what it is. After a while, stuff's going to be all face down, and people are passing things around. At some point, you're going to be like, that's not what that is. And then you flip it over. And if you're right, then it goes in front of them. If you're wrong, the item goes in front of you, and then we'll add more items into the mix. You can see these are the kind of items that are in the game. And once somebody gets 3 points, then everyone's going to count up all the different discards you have, and whoever has the fewest cards is the winner. I was kind of surprised. This one has been getting a lot of buzz. That's Not a Hat. And I think my surprise was how much I'm not really a big fan of this. I don't think the game is bad. And I think it's kind of interesting to see basically just how, oh, wow, this is, you only have to remember like 8 things in a 4-player game or whatever. That's not that hard. It's really hard because the cards are passing around. You're going to eventually mess up. But it is just memory. And so the just memory part just doesn't really appeal to me. I like a little bit of memory in games sometimes, but this one just didn't really bring anything out in me. It's okay. The drawings are good. If you like memory, you'll like this more. But for me, unfortunately, this one is a low 6 out of 10. I didn't dislike it per se. I just wasn't attracted by the memory at all. Not one that I would really want to get. But if you like memory games and the chaoticness of passing cards around a table, then I think this would be one that you would enjoy. That's Not a Hat. Block Party here takes the idea of using blocks to make pictures. Now, this is actually not a particularly new idea. In fact, a game called Pictures, which just came out recently and won several awards, has this as a mini game. But this one has some slight differences to it. Let's take a look. In this game, each person has a little spot that they're going to be building in front of them. And you're going to get a word card. This card is going to have a bunch of words on it. And this card will be kept secret from everybody else. So one person each round is going to be the guesser. And they're going to turn over a challenge card. So this says use the fewest colors, 45 seconds. So I'm going to look at mine, and everyone says go, and you just start taking cubes from the middle. Now, you do not have to you can only use one hand when you're grabbing stuff, but that's my thing there. That's my clue. You only have 45 seconds to do it. Then that person is going to guess. So they guess mine. So they go mistletoe, and I'm like, no. Someone else can spend a steal token if they want to. And they're like, no, I got it. It's cherries. And yes, it is cherries. If that's the case, then both players, and you'll each pick a different color cube, both players, the guesser and the person whose picture they guessed, gets a point. If someone stole it, they're the ones who get the point instead. So the guesser's going to go around and guess everybody's thing. And then the person who did this, whoever used the fewest colors, will get a bonus point. If there's a tie, then multiple people get it. So that's use the fewest colors, use the most colors, use the fewest blocks. As Brandon said, use the most. Build the tallest object, be the first to finish building, so on and so forth. You have all these different items on the card, but you can only do one each over the course of the game. And so you're just going to keep going around. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points up here is the winner. There's also a cooperative version of this for 2 players where you're giving hints and you're just following around through this track here. This one is an okay party game. I mean, the idea of making the blocks and that people guess them is fun, although there's sometimes a big difference between one and another. And the fact that there's one guesser guessing a bunch of things at one time, I like that concept. You get these cards, sometimes you look at the words on the card and you're like, well, that's easy, that's not. I mean, I had orange on a card one time and I simply just put out 1 orange cube because I figured that was a slam dunk. And indeed it was. Now, that's kind of shaken up by the fact that those cards that say use the most blocks or use the most colors or something like that to get the bonus point. As it is, it's fine. It's basically Pictionary, but with blocks. Kids who like Minecraft, kids are going to enjoy this one. It's close for me. My family enjoyed it all a lot more than I did. I thought it was fine. This one I'd give a 6.52. That is Block Party. Like making pictures with blocks, this is your game. This game is the same game. I'm not a human, I'm not a robot. These are both basically the exact same game. This one just has pictures of memes and things. This one has AI-generated artwork because in this one you are robots. So it's trying to be on point there. But basically in this game, which is designed by the same guy who made Spyfall, one of my favorite party games, you are trying to convince people that you are not the person who knows nothing. Let me show you. For each round, you're going to put out a bunch of pictures, and these pictures are numbered 1 through 9. There's a bunch of bags with these numbers on that are in the box. Really, really poor quality bags. You'll take one bag. You'll take the blue card out, put it here. That's the number answer. Then you'll take one incorrect answer. One person's going to get a card that says 404, and the rest are correct. And you'll shuffle these together, and they'll go to everybody. So one person who has, everyone's going to have the number. So let's say in this case the number is 1. Opening up this jar of pickled eggs, one person's to 404. They have no idea what that is. Players are then going to think of a word that's associated with that card. The robot's just trying to pick things up. You can say these in any order you want. And everyone's going to have to write down the words that are said. So they'll write them down on these little score sheets that you have. And the robot just has to make something up. Once all the words are written down, we say, "Robot, would you like to reveal yourself?" If the robot can figure out what the word is from the clues everyone else has given, then the robot does reveal themselves. They say, "Hey, this is it," and they're going to get some points if they're correct. Otherwise, the robot doesn't reveal themselves. Then everyone says the answer here is number 1. And now everyone has to explain why they wrote down the words that they wrote. So, for example, in this case, I might have written delicious. That might not be a great word because that's the only one, but that one might have also counted for this one. I say, well, obviously pickled eggs are delicious. And someone else might have put vague because they have no idea what this one means. Whatever word. And then everyone's going to vote on who they think the robot is. Now, robots, if they get the image right, they get 3 points. If they don't get the image right or they don't guess the image at all and they just stay hidden, they'll get 2 points for being hidden. Humans will get 1 point if the human team wins by revealing the robot card or the robot guesses wrong. And they also get 1 point if they vote for the person that's wrong. Anyway, when that's done, you'll take all the cards, put them back in the bag, shuffle the bags, draw new bags, and put out some new cards. Now I'm showing you the cards from I'm Not a Robot. The cards from I'm Not a Human have a very different look to them. So you're either going to play with pictures and memes and things like that, I suppose, or you're going to be doing these AI-generated art for the I'm Not a Human. Here you're trying to prove that you're a robot, not a human. But the games play otherwise the exact same way. The concept here for this game is not particularly new. This has been done in many other games, most notably Chameleon. I think this game doesn't work, actually. And part of that is because, first of all, I think the pictures are kind of meh. But everyone has to give a word that describes the picture. And so that everyone knows they're not the robot. But your word has to be super vague. Because if your word is not vague, the robot, or the human, whatever, I'm just going to say robot for now. The robot player is going to figure it out. And I found that to be kind of unfun because that's not the point of the game. And then if everyone's words are super vague, then the robot part doesn't work. So this actually has a lot of similarities to my favorite party game, which is Detective Club. But I don't like the art in this game. This is just, it's weird art. I don't particularly like it. It just feels like this one is weird AI art. This one's weird human art, or pictures. So that kind of is one thing. And then just, it felt too meh for me. And I don't know. There was something about this, and playing it, I'm like, we could be playing other better party games. So I'm not a robot, I'm not a human. For me, this is a 5 out of 10. Hard to Get is a game that, when you look at it, looks like a lower quality Codenames. And I think in many ways it's trying to be Codenames, although it plays very differently. There's going to be some cards out there. This is a cooperative party game. Everyone's trying to win together by, out of 16 cards, eliminating 15 of them using clues. But the clues are going to be vague. Is a pancake, says the back of the box, is a pancake more Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise? Does that not make sense to you? Well, watch this. Hopefully it will help. 16 random cards are going to be placed here on the board. These are different clue cards. They have 2 different sides. So this could be toadstool or sausage. This could be sand or wet wipes. One person's going to be the witness each round of the game, and they're going to shuffle a deck of 16 cards and draw one of these cards. By the way, these cards are not good quality. And this card will tell you which is your clue card. So mine is nachos. I'm trying to get all the other players, the detectives, to guess it with a bunch of dilemma cards here. So this says young or old. So I have to say whether my clue is more young or more old. Well, I guess I think nachos are young, so I'll say that. You can stick it here in the side of the box so people can keep track of it. And then they might people are going to essentially eliminate stuff. So they might go, well, the solar system's not very young. And, well, YouTube is young. Keanu Reeves is not particularly young, but would he have called Keanu Reeves old? Virtual reality is kind of young. Nachos, young? I don't even know what that means. Does that even make any sense? And so they're going to go through and take out some. Maybe they only take out one. It doesn't really matter. So my next clue, Miss Piggy or Kermit? Well, this is definitely a Miss Piggy situation. So now I'm taking Kermit and I say it's Miss Piggy. So people might take out, what would Kermit do that not? And you have this big debate over it. You might take a few more cards out. And next one, shooting stars or shooting hoops? So in this case, I guess I would say shooting hoops, because I think that if you're playing basketball, you're more likely to eat nachos than someone who's watching shooting stars. I have no idea. And they might take out some more cards. And then the fourth one, trash or treasure? Oh, man. But I pulled these out randomly, so I don't know. Maybe treasure? If at any point your card is taken out, then you've lost. But if after 5 rounds, you have to kind of come to a thing. So I have young shooting stars, Miss Piggy, and treasure. And my final card, night owl, early bird, is definitely a night owl for nachos. If they can pick your card by that point, then you all win. That's exciting. Otherwise, you've lost. And you just pick another person to be the witness and everyone else be the detective. You can go through, you can make the game harder by doing fewer rounds or play by more rounds. It's up to you. Some of the clues are marked easy. I think 30 of them, they're like fat or thin, tall or short. And they're ones that are going to make more sense. But the Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise thing, let me just go through some of these odd clues here. We got potato or tomato, Instagram or TikTok, first date or second date, 1912 or 2812, Super Bowl or beer pong, gummy bears or raisins, X or O, chips or candy. Those are actually, here's the thing. I want to give this game props for coming up with clever things like that. I think they're actually pretty clever. I think the game works fine. It just sometimes a clue comes up and everyone just kind of sits there and goes, And if you get 2 or 3 of those clues in a round, then you kind of lost. Now, you can start over again and play it over again. I also think the quality is not particularly good in this game. I think it looks bad. I think the cards don't feel great. It's just okay in that regard. So, and also the right word is hard to get. This game looks like some sort of mafia game, and it's not. It's just a game. There's a lot of games where you're trying to eliminate things, most notably recently, the Horrible Games has a whole line of games that does this. And I don't know that this one stands out in that regard, other than the, I think, kind of clever clues that they have in here, these things. But it's not one that I'm going to keep coming back to. I find it okay to play. It was interesting. But this one gets me a 6 out of 10. Trash Talk. So this game is a party game in which it's literally named, except that it's not about trash talking other people. You don't talk trash in this game at all. You're talking about trash. You know why? Because in this box, you're like a possum and raccoons, and you are pulling weird things, items, out of the trash. And then you're comparing those to words. Let me show you. There's a bunch of random weird items that are thrown in this box. A honey stick, an umbrella, a slinky, a car, a plant, this weird paper clip that looks like a diamond, a stone, a coin, his monster, a bow tie. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get 3 of these objects. So I might get this, and the coin. All right, so these are my 3 objects that are in this game. I'm the possum, or I'm the raccoon. Everyone else is a possum. With 2 players, you both would have shields. But essentially what happens here is 3 cards are put in the middle of the table. YOLO, Always, and Wish. And so they're going to be in the middle of the table, and I am going to put these 3 items by which one I think they are through anything I want. So YOLO, I guess I'd put money by YOLO. Always, 4-leaf clover plant maybe, and Wish. No, you'd wish in a clover. Honey for always, that doesn't make much sense. So that's the order I put them in. Meanwhile, the matching one, everyone else is putting in the middle or trying to guess how I do them. We reveal. If they're correct, yay, we go to the next round, which is now 4 cards instead of 3 cards that are over here. But after that point, let's say they get one wrong. Let's say they got 2 of them wrong. So the one that's right stays there, and that thing stays there. We just put out 2 more cards, astronaut and bathroom, with the same 2. Hopefully they would say, you know, astronauts need plants, and the bathroom, I don't know, this looks like a toilet paper roll. You can use anything you want to get people to guess these things. You know, whatever clues you want, but you're just trying to match the other person with their thought process. And as a group, you can talk about it, but they can't say anything. So you're going to just keep increasing the number of cards. And the winning number, which I have to look up because we've never got there, is 10. If you can match 10 things, each time you add another item and you're like, now take the wiggly monster, you all win. This game here from Friendly Skeleton is one that I wanted to like. But again, as a lot of party games do these days, this one is taking a concept that we've already seen and done. It's basically saying, here's some things, assign stuff to it. Everyone else is trying to guess what you assigned, except this one has these weird little objects. The weird little objects are fine. I mean, this has the whole idea where you're sitting there while everyone's trying to guess what you said, and they're talking about it, and you're thinking, oh my word, how are these people not getting this? How are they? Why do they think I would use an umbrella to mean Monty Python or whatever? It's some weird stuff, and it works okay, but this one way outstays its welcome for me. It's okay to play once, but I don't want to play it again. And because of that, I think the items are unique and interesting. Also, that getting to 10, that's almost impossible. It's literally almost impossible. You have one chance to fix something when you mess it up. Maybe someone's gotten a 10, but I doubt it. So this one is not one that I'm loving. I found it to be an okay idea, but it does not really... There's so many party games out there. This one doesn't stand out. It's like, I've seen this before. There's a slinky. That's cool, but that's about the coolest thing in it. So this one just gets a 6 out of 10. I'll play it if you bring it out to the table, but I'm not going to. Emotional Rex is a weird name for a game, and that's because the theme of this game here is some aliens have come to Earth after Earth has been destroyed. They resurrect a human to learn about humans' emotions, except they accidentally resurrect a T-Rex and think it's a human. Okay, put that out of your mind because that's nothing to do with the game. This game is a game in which you are going to say sentences with certain moods. You know, I might say, I'm going to read a sentence in a cowardly way or a happy way, and everyone else is trying to guess what that sentence is. Let me show you. In this game, you're going to have some random emotion cards that are placed here from numbers 1 to 10. Each player is going to get 4 chips. One player is going to go first. They are the emotional T-Rex. They're going to roll a 10-sided die in a cup and secretly look at the number. That's the emotion they have to do. They then get a sentence, and they have to read it in that. So in this one, I'd go, well, that was fast. And you have to read it 3 times. Well, that was fast. And you read it, and then everyone else is going to be putting down tokens, 1 token each, on the one that they think you did. So they might put intense, panic, shy. If they have a hard time telling between two that are on opposite sides, they can put one here, or they can even put one here for this entire row. Once everyone's done that, you flip them face up, and this matters because the 4 chips do different things. If you're correct, and by the way, the correct answer was worried, and you're going to get 4 points if you put your chip here. You'll get 2 points if you put it here. However, this chip flips over everyone else's chips that's there. So if you put this one here, and I put this one here, and we flip them over, your +1 turns into a minus. You actually lose 1 point. So you only get 3 points if you get it correct. This gets +1, this gets +2, and this one, if I put it here, it counts for this answer or these 2 answers, so this person would still get the full 4 points. If you go down here in these bottom spots, you're guessing on a whole side, you're going to get 0 points, but if you put the +1 or +2 there, you'll get those points at least. After that, the card that was worried is taken away. A new card is put in its spot, enraged, and the next person goes, and they have to read the sentence, "Why can't you do it?" Or the sentence, "Ha ha ha," or "This feels so good," or "Excuse me, where's the bathroom?" or "Go away before I blow you into pieces." So you're going to go around the table. Everyone reads 3. You're collecting these cards over here for points, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Each time you use a chip, it comes back to you face up, and you can't use them again until all your chips are face up. Then you flip them face down, and then you can use any of your 4 chips. That's how you play. Well, Emotional Rex here is a unique game until I realized I played a game that's just like it called Moods. Moods came out 20 years ago, was a party game I really enjoyed, and this is essentially exactly the same game. I sent down to the point where in Moods you rolled a little couple of the die, looked at it, 1 through 9 out of 10 things, and everyone guessed. This one adds to Moods with chips that have different things on them, where you can bet in between 2 different moods, and a few other minor things. And you know what? Every single edition is worse. Moods was just, hey, pick the card, pick the mood that you think it is. And also Moods had a better rule that when you would pick all the cards, every card that someone voted on was gone. So there was more change in the moods out there. But some of these things, like the chip and the flipping over other people's chips, is so unnecessarily complicated for a little party game. And then also betting between 2 words. The fact that those 2 words are close together almost never happens. I played several games where it never happened. And even if it did 2 points, I'd rather take the chance and guess on the word itself and get 4. So there's I like the idea, but honestly, I'll just go to a thrift store or something and hunt down the old game Moods instead of this one. Because like I said, they're kind of the same game. So because of that, I can't really recommend this one. There's some neat ideas in it, but it just feels like a copy of another game. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Connecto is a new version of a game that I reviewed again before, where you're going to have a little card with all these tiny pictures on it, and you're going to be connecting them, and then suddenly you'll realize what the picture is. I'll show you. So before I tell you how the game works, I'll show you how the puzzle works in of itself. So this is a basic puzzle. So this, for example, is going to show this. So I can see that there's a movie sign there that connects to the ribbon, which connects to the film down here, which connects to the genie's lamp, which connects to the gingerbread man, which connects to the book, which connects to the hourglass. Where is the hourglass? There it is. Which connects back to the movie thing. And then that's one line. The other line, I'm going to start at this sandcastle here, and that sandcastle connects to the blue, to the stop cone, which connects to the lock. Where is the lock? It's over here. And then the lock connects to the candle. So up to the candle connects to the table connects to the cactus connects to the green present connects to the scales, and the scales connects to this. So what did I just draw? So if I think I know what I just drew, I'm going to turn this one over. Now this is a trickier one than the rest. And what this actually is a podium. See? The Olympic. Da, 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 da. So if I know what it is, I write it here, and I'm going to get points for getting that correct. Now, the way the game works is you can go up against other people. You're going to try to beat people by going as quickly as you possibly can. There are going to be other kinds of puzzles, like this one here. When it shows a star like that, that means you're going to curve your line. And sometimes, if it's just sitting all by itself, see these ones that are sitting by themselves? That means you're just going to circle them. The back of the book has the rule book has 184 answers to all of them. And so you can play solo, just as puzzles. You can play cooperatively, where you're all working together and you pass it around. Or you can just see who wins the most. You team up in different groups. Anyway, that's how you play. This is such a beautiful production. Ultra Pro did a really good job at it. These boards just look fantastic. And I like the fact that if you want to, you can even turn it over on the other side. There's a black and white version in case the colors mess you up for whatever reason. Everything looks different, and it's really rewarding to draw it and suddenly go, that's what this picture is. I think that's fantastic. So this works as a puzzle, or it works as a game. And the game, just who's going to be the fastest person to do it. But I find this one to be an amusing time. Playing with my kids, everyone has a good time drawing and suddenly going, oh, I figured out what it is. And sometimes you draw the whole picture and you go, I still don't know what it is because you're holding it upside down, like the example. But it's a clever idea. It's fun, and I'm glad to see a lot of people able to get it. So I'm going to recommend this one. 7 out of 10. Definitely you should check out Connecto. It's a balloon. That's a lollipop. That's a balloon. Or is it a balloon? It's a Balloon is a game in which you're telling other people what to draw, and they're going to guess. They're going to be drawing. You're giving them directions. Now, that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, but this game has a clever workaround. I'll show you. In this game, each player gets this board with a pen, and you're going to get 2 cards that give you some words. And so, sofa, chocolate, bird, and cactus. So let's say maybe I pick cactus. On my turn, I'm going to try to get everyone to guess the word cactus, and we'll flip a timer over, and at this point, I'm going to give directions. Everyone else will have their own board. No one will see what I'm drawing. I'm keeping it secret, and I'm just going to give directions using simple objects and lines. I might say, for example, I'll say start at the left of the camera and draw a line to the bottom left of the umbrella head. Now do the same thing on the right of the camera. Now connect those 2 lines on the camera. Starting from the line here on the top left of the umbrella, draw a curved line to the bottom point of the star. Draw that to the other star. Now, and meanwhile, I'm trying to make I'm trying to do something like this, okay? And I'm giving these instructions to everybody else. If at any point someone knows what it is, they will write what they think the word is, and they'll grab one of these 2 tokens if they're available in the middle. At some point, the timer is going to run out, and it's not a particularly long timer. And so you're not going to have a lot of time to give this information. Everyone's going to reveal. If anyone got it right, they're going to get a point. If they took the gold token, that's an extra 2 points. If they took the silver token, that's an extra point. And so then we go to the next person. Everyone is going to do it 1. Now, you get extra points, and you get points for each person that guesses it correctly based on how hard it is. So for cactus, it's a 2-point word. If 3 people guess it correctly, I get 6 points. And you'll keep track of your points up here on your own board. That's it. Everyone's going to go around the table, picking one of their 4 words, and after everyone has done this, whoever has the most points is the winner. This game is surprisingly entertaining. It's from PD Games, who they normally make heavy Euro games. But this party game here, the idea that those little shapes on there, I can say draw, there's like a hand there, I'll say draw from the pointer finger, draw a curved line from that finger to this. And as people are drawing, it's not easy to do this. The biggest problem we run into this is the time runs out. The back of the rule book has some nice things. They tell you what you can do. You can say circle the octopus, encircle the shape of the star. Start at the top of the headphones, draw a half circle with its open side facing downwards just until you hit the umbrella. Things you can't say draw a hat, draw a smiley, but you can say draw basic shapes and lines and things. And you know what? It works. It's fun. Not only is it fun, it's a good learning game for kids because it teaches them to give directions to other people. And I like that. You can be the best artist in the world, but you need to tell me how to do it. You can maybe sketch something out. And I find that to be fun. It's kind of like you are trying to break down this object into a few simple parts and then draw those. It's a hilarious game because some of the things that people do, they'll mishear the instructions and draw it. I just enjoyed this one a lot. I think that it's not one I want to play over and over each day, but I would bring this one out at parties for sure. So I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It's a balloon. Same game is a game by Wolfgang Warsch, who you might know. He has made some very, very, very popular games. Probably Quacks a Quedlinburg is his most well-known game. In this game, is a microwave more important to humanity than nappies? How differently does a rocking horse move compared to a windscreen wiper? This game is a difficult party game to explain, but I'm about to try. This is a cooperative game and players are trying to get the highest score. I'm showing this played on the easiest level where there are 6 cups out, 3 cups are placed here on the board. You're going to put out some tiles here with different words on them. Each of the tiles have different color backs, and depending on how hard it is, you'll take some of each of the colors and put them out. There's a bag with numbers. There's 6 tiles here, so the bag has 1 through 6 in it. So each person is going to randomly draw a number secret from the bag. They won't show anybody else, and then they're going to write that number on a little board they have here that will close. So, for example, I'll close that like that, and I'll write my number on it. Then, after everyone has done that, we're going to draw the tiles from the bag and randomly assign them to each one out here. Although I found for ease of the gameplay, since it's just random, I just tend to put the numbers in order. Now, each person is going to draw from a pile of cards, and they're going to get a word token. There's going to be 1 card here, which once per game, someone can take that card instead of the word that they've been drawn instead. They're then going to write another word here on their object board. So, for example, and then after everyone's done doing that, we'll play one player at a time. So for me, for example, let's say I have the word garden gnome, and I wrote the word slinky. Then everyone at the table, I'm going to have them close their eyes. And so, just to mimic this, I'm going to take these off the camera so you can't see them. Let's bring this down so you can't. And while everyone's eyes are closed, I'm going to take each of these cups, put the number under the cup. But one of them is the false one, the wrong one, the trap. And for that, I'm going to take the token and I'm going to flip that token over and put it on the trap side. So once I've done that, I bring each of them down like this. And what everyone else as a group is they're going to eliminate the cups one by one. And what you're trying to do is, I'm saying that Garden Gnome and Slinky are very close in one of these categories, but not close in the other categories. So, for example, you would look at this and you would say, okay, well, Garden Gnome and a Slinky. Slinkies are really cheap. Garden Gnomes aren't that particularly cheap. I think we can eliminate that. Everyone agree? We agree, we take the cup off? Good, it's not a trap. We place the cup here. We're placing the cup here because at the end of a round, we're going to get a certain number of points. Hopefully 3, because 3 is the best. We'll say, well, Slinky and the Garden Gnome are very different materials. Okay, great. They're used for very different things. Okay, now we're getting tricky. Frequency worldwide. Are there more Garden Gnomes in the world? More Slinkies? Is there about the same? And then there'll be some debate about that, the length. And someone's like, well, Slinky can go really long. I don't think it's length. So, oh, good. So now we're getting points here. This is great. Frequency worldwide and importance for humanity. Well, we'll try frequency. Hooray! Yes, they are both not important for humanity at all, which is why I wrote them down. At any point, if you reveal the trap early, you're done, and you'll just score points here. And you're trying to get into this red zone to win the game. And then how high up you go is gold medal, silver medal, or bronze medal. Now, you can play with other words: complexity of construction, weight, volume, height of the lying object, the wrong one, duration of use, appearance, explanation, effort, the frequency of use, movement. And you can have up to 9 of these up here. And that's just how you play. You're going to go through, and everyone's going to pick one, and you're going to see how far that you've gotten. You're going to go around the table a certain amount of time, depending on how many players. If you're playing a 5-player game, you just go around the table once. If you're playing 4 players, you go around the table twice. And that's how you play. If I'm teaching this game, I am going to give an example and just do one sample round with everybody, because I found that people really kind of struggle with how it works at the first time. I'm like, okay, the one that is the same is the one you're not trying to guess. You're trying to find the ones that it's different at. When you pick a clue word, you're trying to pick one that's the same in these 2 things but different in the others. That sounds simple, but you would be surprised at how often I have to get over that hurdle. But once you get over that hurdle, this is one of the most unique, entertaining party games that I played in a while. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. I just found it to be very enjoyable. It's very thought-provoking, brings up good conversations. We had a long debate in our house about the length of 2 objects, because we said these lengths, because the person said the length was similar, and we were like, they are not similar. And measuring tape was brought out to prove that these 2 objects weren't similar. And that makes my day when stuff like that happens. I love party games that bring the whole room to life, and this one does that. It's a cooperative party game, and a lot of party games are cooperative these days, but I think that's fine because the party game is usually more about the experience than it is about seeing what happens. And I found it to be very interesting and enjoyable. The front of the cover here gives a very Electric Company sort of vibes. The quality, the little cups, the tiles are really well done. The art in the game, the word selection. This one's just very nicely done. It's not going to work in every situation, so that's one thing you have to keep in mind. This is definitely going to be a game that some people are just not going to get very well. But when you do get it, and I was able to get it and teach it to my kids, this is one I think that just feels different. There's so many party games out there that have, oh yeah, I've seen this before. For once, I felt like I have not seen this before, and that makes me happy. This one might go up for me in rating as time goes by, but for now, I really enjoy it the same game. There you go, folks. I kind of reviewed them in the size order, but also these 3, really, really fun. But there is a lot of party games here. Check them out. What's your favorite? If you played any of these, let me know in the comments. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching 9 quick reviews of party games.